This is probably one of the most crutch attachments in Black Ops 6 Zombies, but just how important is it? Well, I want to find out. Let's go. So there are probably 3 attachments in this game that we are running on pretty much every single weapon. That's the CHF barrel, the suppressor, and rapid fire. Now, the most important of which is being the suppressor, as this gives you an increased chance of getting salvage. But my question is, because I've played a lot of games without a suppressor, and I feel like I get a whole lot of salvage. So I wanted to hop in and test out just how much extra salvage that you get when you are running a suppressor here in Black Ops 6 Zombies. Now, I got a few ground rules to put in. Now, this is not going to be a very long video here for you. I'm going to break it all down in a pretty short video, but it did take me a long time to make this video. So, you know, if you enjoy it and you drop a like on it, I would much appreciate it. But I wanted to keep everything as steady as I can and limit as many factors as possible. So we are using the brand new SMG because I did need to get all of the headshots for it, and I figured this is the perfect time to do that. I'm going to play 3 games without using a suppressor on the weapon and 3 games with using the suppressor on the weapon. We are going to play until the end of round 16, gather all of the salvage that is on the floor, and then go ahead and exit the game. And we're going to do that through each of the games. Now, the first 2 games for each set with and without the suppressor are going to just be normal, while game 3 will be done with the Rampage Inducer on for the first 6 rounds. Now, I chose to do this on Liberty Falls for a very specific reason, and that is because on round 10, we can do the Easter egg at the church where we blow it up with the frag grenade and get ourselves a guaranteed blue tool to make sure that we have a plenty strong enough weapon to get through all of these rounds. And I will be doing that Easter egg at the exact same time on each and every round, right on round 10 when we get that blue tool. So all of that extra salvage is going to be counted, but it's going to be counted at every single game. So with all of that out of the way, I guess it is time for us to go ahead and get into the numbers and find out just how important running a suppressor on the gun might be or might not be. So the end of game 1 without a suppressor here, we ended up with 440 eliminations, 402 critical kills, and walked away with 4,300 salvage. Now at the end of game 2, we had 415 eliminations, 368 critical kills, and walked away with 4,250 salvage at the end of round 16. And then finally, at the end of game 3, now this one we did use the Rampage Inducer for the first 6 rounds, and we had 368 eliminations, 326 critical kills, and this one has a little bit of an asterisk because we had an accidental nuke that we hit toward the tail end of round 15, so that definitely cost us a few eliminations and a little bit of salvage, but we did walk away with 3,950 salvage from game 3. Okay, so let's recap our non-suppressor rounds here real quick. So game 1 was 4,300, game 2 4,250 salvage, game 3 3,950 salvage, for a total of 12,500 salvage over all 3 games played. Now when you average that out, and I'm going to round this down to the nearest 50 salvage since that's the increments that they go up in, is an average of 4,150 salvage per game, which is enough salvage for you to spend it all and go epic rarity by round 16. And then real quick, before we get into our game set with the suppressor on our weapon here, I want to touch base on a little bit of a topic here that there is going to be some RNG involved with how much salvage that you get in a particular game. There is some luck of the drop, so to say, as you see without the suppressor, it was pretty consistent how much salvage that we were getting in each run. But with the suppressor, you are going to be noticing that there is a little bit of a wider disparity in our averages here. And our 3-game sample is a very small sample, but I think it's more than enough to get us pretty much ballpark of what you would expect using a suppressor and without using a suppressor. So let's go ahead and get into those games now. All right, so game 1 with the suppressor, we got a total of 419 eliminations, 359 critical kills, and walked away with 5,850 salvage. And game 2 got us 413 eliminations, 363 critical kills, and we walked away with only 4,750 salvage in game 2 at the end of round 16. And then finally in game 3, this is with the Rampage Inducer on for the first 6 rounds, the same as we did without the Suppressor. We had 433 eliminations, 354 critical kills, but walked away with a staggering 6,150 salvage at the end of this run. So that is a pretty wide disparity from our low point in game 2. Okay, so tallying up our runs with the Suppressor on the weapon, we got a total of 16,750 salvage over all 3 of the games played. And if you average that out and then round it to the nearest 50 there, you're going to get an average of 5,600 salvage per game, which is a difference of about 1,450 salvage between not having a Suppressor and having a Suppressor. So that just goes to show that actually running the Suppressor is a huge deal here in Black Ops 6 Zombies, as once you do all the rest of the math there, you're going to get about an average of 25% more salvage when you run a Suppressor on your weapons here in Black Ops 6 Zombies. Now, honestly, I'm a little bit shocked by that number. While, yeah, you can have some really good games and get a lot of salvage when you're not using a Suppressor, but on average, you're going to be getting a whole lot less salvage when you're not using it. I really thought the number was going to be closer to about 10%. I was not expecting the number to be quite as high as it is. So that is definitely going to make this one of the absolute most crutch perks that you can run here in Black Ops 6 Zombies. So go ahead and slap that on your weapon now. Like this video. My name is Cole Whip, and I'm out.